Hello, my lovely friends. This is Dolores. I'll bring you a video. It's pretty astonishing, and I do wonder if these people are still made because I have some stories for you. Some I've witnessed. Some have grown up in my neighborhood, so I know it's true. Now, what I'd like you to do help me realize if these people are still out there. I will start with my grandmother. As they say, Parson Christine Pitney first. Okay? I'll cut out a lot, but I'll tell you um, what she had told me as a child, if there are people living like that still. My grandmother was given away when she was 7 years old. Her parents had 5 girls and 2 boys. And after her mother passed, and then they were all given away. My grandmother was given away to her godmother, a very rich, wicked black woman. She was given her away in the city, so that's Kingston. Ever since she lived with this lady, she has never sent her to school. No school. She was the maid for her children and around the house. She had to clean, wash, do everything at 7. Anyhow, she grew up to a teenager. And one day she was in the marketplace. And somebody, they're like, the people in the village goes to that market. And she happened to be in that aisle. And they looked at her and noticed that she looked like one of the sisters that's in the country. She was the only one that was given away to the godmother who lives in the city. And they decided we're going to figure out if she's who we think she is. So her name is Birdie. And one of the vendors said, Birdie! And she looked so fast, because she's wondering who knew her since she was given away at 7. And they called her over. And she went and was talking to the market people, the vendors, that the treatment that she got, how poor it was. The lady treated her very, very bad. So she was big enough to go to the market and select the food and carry home. That's one of her duties. Anyhow, they told her, we're going to help you to come back to country. So they told her how they would take her away and the woman would know. So she started taking her clothes bit by bit and giving to the market people, the vendors, so they take it to the country. Now, they help her to escape back to the country. As I was telling you, a lot of things I'm going to leave out. And she was still a teenager and she had a man. They helped her, assisted her until she find a man, which is my grandfather. So she was treated very bad. A lot of domestic abuse that the man would do to her. And anyhow, when people know you don't have no body or you're nothing, that's why they classify people who, are given away and stuff. And this man treated her very, very, very bad. She had one child, then she had another child, and then she was pregnant. She was 8 months pregnant with the last child, so she would eventually have 3 children for that man who abused her regularly. So one day he did something to her very terrible. I think what she told me. She told me what he did to her, and I have decided I'll have to go to my grave with it, because I don't see how one human being could treat another human being like that. Pregnant, big pregnancy, 8 months. And what he did to her when she found out that she was still with us, is alive. She took pillowcases and sheets. And she took all that she could take, tied it up in bundles, and tied those bundles onto her body. And she left. She don't know where she was going. My mother was 7 years old at the time. She could carry a little bundle. And the little one could only hold on to her dress tail, and then she was pregnant. And all these bundles on her, and pots and pans, she just tied them onto her body. And she was walking. She says she didn't know where she was going, but she knew she was not going back to the abusive man. And she says she was just walking. She don't know where she was going. She knew that she'll have to sleep under a tree, in a cave, or under a culvert, but she was not going back. And when she came to the head of the street, the road, there were 2 roads she had to take. One to the left, one to the right. And she turned on the right. And when she turned on the right, she was just walking. And she saw a young man, and he said to her, "Where you going with all them bag and pan and stuff tied to you?" She says, "I don't know." And he says, "How you mean you don't know?" She says, "I don't know. I don't know. I have nowhere to live." And the young man said, "I have a house. You could come and live there as long as you want." And she said, "Okay." And he took her to his house. He was a shoemaker, so, shoemaking at that time was it. If it wasn't now, he would die for hungry, but he made shoes, because he used to make my shoes. And he took her home, and then he told her, make this house to be your home. And she lived there, and she had the baby, and he took care of the baby, and he helped take care of the 2 bigger ones. And later on, they got married. Her ring, I used to question my grandmother a lot. She said he bought her a ring. The ring was 2 guineas, which was £2, 2 shillings. And I asked her, "Did you go in a car to church?" She said no, she rode a horse to church. That's where she got married. And he gave her a pair of real, genuine silver. They were thick. I could remember when she does the dishes, you could hear this bangle and the place having a fuss. And they lived happily after. And one night, I was about 12, 13. I heard the door knocked. No, I heard the dogs barking. And I said, "Oh my God, I always afraid that there may be dopey outside." That's what I was scared of. Anyhow, the dogs calmed down. And I heard a knock on the door. And when the door knocked, I got up and I said, "Who is it?" It was the abusive man, which is my grandfather, which I did not like, since my grandmother had told me what he did to her. And he told me to open the door, and I said, "Let me go tell my granny." And I went to my grandmother. Her room is at the back of the house. My room was up to the front, near to the veranda, and I went and I knocked on the door. And I told her that he was at the door. And then she now wake up her husband, the one who took her in, with the pregnant belly and everything. And she told him that he was at the door. And I put my ears to the door crease. just to hear what you'd say. And I hope you would say, throw some water on him. I would gladly do it. And he told my grandmother, open the door and give him a bed to sleep. Huh? I was so mad, but you can't say nothing. And I opened the door, and before I could lock back the door, he was in a bed in his clothes that he came in. And he slept till morning. And he slept till morning. And when daylight, my grandmother gave him a big brunch. It was an oval dish. And she gave him food, and he ate everything clean. And he kept lingering around the house. And my grandmother said to him, look here, I have 3 children for you, and that's my husband there, and you have to leave now. Leave now so you can go sort out your business before it's night, but don't come back here. Now, God still create people like that? Taking a woman with 3 kids, 1 unborn kid, and 2 other, and supported those 2 kids. And when the biological father came, he said, give him a bed. Those things are happening these days? I doubt it. If you know anything about that, leave a comment. Okay, the other one is, there's a man who grew up in our district, rich man, and he married a pretty woman. He was an older man. They have children. I won't say how many children. But there became a time when this guy became important. You know what I mean? And he knew it, and he knew he couldn't, have any interaction with his wife. And he told her, he says, you know that I'm important, and please don't leave me. Please. Excuse me, you can have somebody, but don't leave me. And she loved him very much. And she found a man, a younger man, to supply her needs, her bedroom needs. And the first thing that young woman said to the guy, never ever disrespect my husband. And she told him exactly what was wrong. And that guy would come along and he would help that man if he was doing anything. He's still active, but that part is finished with. And he would come along if he was nailing something, he would come, he would help him just like an honor worker. And they did what they have to do. You know what the man did? The man who was important? He set up the guy in his own business. And the guy was very respectful to him. Very. It's yes, sir. No, sir. Come in, sir. And that guy only stayed with that woman. And he was very, very successful. The husband said, we'll give him this. Because the guy was struggling. But she liked him. And he was respectful. Those things still happen? Well, it's happening. You can let me know if you know anybody like that. The wife said, never, ever disrespect my husband. And he agreed. And it fared off for him. Now, the other one is, I don't know if I talked about this one before. This woman, she was married to this man. And they had very good bedroom services. Then all of a sudden, she don't want anything to do with that anymore. And she told her husband, I love you, don't leave me. You can get somebody else to fix that part, the bedroom part. And the guy went out and he found somebody. And he told the wife that he found somebody. She does not know the wife, that side chick or another woman. And what the wife would do, if it's Valentine, he would buy 2 Valentine gifts, one for the wife and one for the side chick. And when he comes in with the gift, she would say, how much did you pay for her? Her name was Mary. Did you get Mary a gift? She says, yes. What did you get her? And he would tell her. And he said, let me see it. And she says, how much you paid for it? And he says, $50. She says, take it back. Buy her something for $150. And he would bring it and she wrap it. And a card and says, take it to her now. And ever, if he was looking sad, the wife would say to him, you and Mary had a falling out? And he said, yes. She says, get me my phone. And she would call her, the side chick, and says, say his name was John. John is not happy. He's not happy at all. Could you talk to him, please? I don't like when he's sad. And he loves you and he loves me. So could you talk to him? Those things happen still. When it happened. Do you know anybody who live like that? Let me know in my comment. Now the other one is, I was in the marketplace one day. When I look, I was talking to this vendor. We're looking straight at each other. And I saw a lady waved at her. But I figured she did not see because she was facing me. And then after that lady waved her hand and I said, your friend is waving to you. And she said to me, that's not my friend, that's my matey. I said, what? She said, yes, she good to me, you see. She good to me. She says, this part I can't remember exactly if she was the husband boyfriend. If the husband was that girl that waved to her boyfriend. Or she was working with him and then they got the connection. And she says, she's so good to me. And I said, tell me more. She says she's married to this man and she has 3 children with him. God bless how much money he gave her. So she had to do the hustling. And when I look, I saw a little boy coming with something on his head and she helped him down. And she straightened out his school. I said, okay, go to school now. She said, that woman is a blessing. She says, anything she wants, she just got to get a message to that girl. The girl that I saw waved her. If the kid needs shoes, uniform, books, medicine, anything at all she got to do, get a message to that girl. And girl would get it from the husband. That's how much he loved that side chick than the wife and his kids. And she'd go to him and said, I need this, I need that. And send it to the wife. She said, how can I be mad with anybody? Mad mean vex in Canada, right? That's how we say when somebody vexed with someone. Say, he's mad, he's mad. This man loved this side chick more than the wife, more than his children. So she said, that's my angel. That's my angel. You have some woman you can't even look upon them, man. But she just was happy that she got the help. And it was from that girl, because some of these, I don't know, I'll call them side chick / stepmothers. You see the kids look so shabby, not dressed properly, because their father, whoever, just doesn't care about them. So she was lucky. Do you know anybody like that? Let me know, please. Now, the other one is, let me tell you. This man, I know him very well. You remember that big bad guy that came around 19, year 20, 21, 22? This man has a side chick, and he has his wife. His wife is a little bit, I would say, needs some care. He needs some help with her care. And the husband, he took his married vows very seriously. And he looked after the wife. You know, he cooks her meals, he assists her in everything. Because she's a lot bigger side. And he's slim. And when that bad guy came around, the wife got sick. But she didn't have that sickness that guy came with. You know who I'm talking about? COV. Finish it. Anyhow, the wife was very sick in that time. And this man, he searched the entire area out of town to find somebody to help him take care of her. She was very sick. And this guy called an ambulance to take her from the upstairs bedroom, downstairs, out to the door, in the ambulance, took her to the hospital, and they checked her thoroughly. That bad guy did not touch her. He was so happy. And the ambulance had to take her back home, put her upstairs in a bed. It cost this man $1,000. That's what it costs when you call an ambulance. If it's emergency, you don't pay that much, just a little bit. And she came home. But she still need a lot of help, a lot of care. And no nursing agency to help him. He called, he offered double pay, nobody wants it because nobody want to catch it. And he said when she came home, she was so helpless. But he couldn't manage her alone. And he was dumb. He don't know what he's going to do because he loves his wife and he does not want, to left her, neglect her or anything like that. He wanted good care for her. And he was perplexed. And as he stood there, because he alone cannot manage a wife, as he told him, runkus pampunkus they call it, because she's, on the heavy side. And when he stood there, don't know what to do, and he see the condition of his wife, he heard steps coming up. You know who was coming? The side chick. She came with her gloves, her, that disposable shoes, gown, mask, everything. She says, don't worry. we're gonna look after her till she get better. And he told me he was so grateful, so grateful. He said, I'm gonna do something to her for her. He told me what he was gonna do. My sister says she doesn't know yet. And let me tell you something. She will be amazed when the time comes what the guy is doing for her. Hmm? There are some side chicks are very, 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 very sympathetic and very good. Because he said, I don't know how I would manage if she didn't help. Hmm? Everybody was scared. And she said, no, don't worry, we're going to take care of her. And they did until she get better. And he said, you know something? I just put in a stair glide for my wife. Cost over 20,000 Canadian. Yep. He loves his wife unconditionally. And that, we call her side chick, he says she has never disrespected his wife. Never. So that's blessing there, right? Blessing. Now, let me see what else. This is something else. I went to Jamaica, and one person had to carry something for a woman who lived in another area, and I went with them. And when I got to the house, I was greeted by a white woman. White, not half white. White woman. And this woman, she's different. She was walking barefooted. And she greeted us, and I sat in the veranda. And I noticed there was an orange tree going, just waving like that. But I couldn't see who was in the tree. So, but anyhow, it didn't bother me. The place was so fruitful. Everything is just green and nice. The breeze was so cool, no sun. And then the lady came and she gave me some oranges. And I said, thanks. So I did notice the tree was going backward and forward. And so I was wondering who was in the tree. She said, it's me. I go get oranges for you. So as I sat there, I looked in the room beside me. That was her bedroom. And when I looked in the bedroom, I saw that room maybe about, I would say maybe 12 by 14 or could be bigger. Right around the top, all around, there were shelves. And all the shelves, there was no space. It was boxes with stamps. Some of the boxes had stamp 2 sides, some had 1 side. And she sat there with me and she was talking to me. And no, before she came to sit and talk with me, I noticed this little girl was running. She was about maybe 10, 11. And she was behind that kid. Kid couldn't outrun her. And she grabbed the little girl and she hooked her towards her bosom like this. And she kept pinching her. And she says, tell me you won't give me no problem. You're giving me a lot of problems. She just pinching the little girl. And the girl said, no, I won't give you no problem. And she kissed her little girl and let her go. So anyhow, she come out, was just talking. And I say, little girl giving her trouble. She said, oh, that's my husband, granddaughter. But I'm taking care of her. She says, I don't have no children, you know. That's what I mean, you don't got no children. She says, no, I can't have children. And my husband loves children and he wants children. And I tell my husband, go get all the children you want and bring them to me. And I will look after them. She said her husband bought her 5 babies. And the babies, she says, I want them anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months. Bring them to me. And she says, whenever he's gonna get one of the babies, because he get them with poor people, poor women who struggling, single. And she says every time he's about to go and bring a baby home, she gives him a towel to wrap up the baby. And she would have the crib clean down, she have gripe water, glucose, Vaseline, everything. And she says, I don't move. I sit on the veranda. And as soon as I look and I see him coming through the gate, I would run and take the baby from him and kiss the baby and say, my baby, you come. And she raised all 5 children until they were big enough. They're all in England. She says, you see all those boxes? That's what they send me. And if their biological mother comes and want a money, a sheet, a towel, groceries, whatever they want, she give it to them. Can you believe that? She says, I want my husband to be happy. My husband loves me, and I love him too. But, is it 3 years? 3 years ago, I was inquiring about her. They said she passed. But this woman has everything. She says, all those boxes have stuff in them. I just open them and close them. She says, I don't need it. But because they don't know no other mother but me, and I take care of them. And said, that's my reward. And the little girl that she was pinching, said that's one of them daughter. One of her husband's daughter, kid. Now, do they make those people still? Let me know on my comment. Now the last one, I'm going to give it to you now. These guys used to play dominoes. And one of them brought his wife to where I was living. And the guys were playing dominoes on the veranda. And the wife and I was in the house. I think we were learning to do crochet or something or watching TV. And from one conversation to the other, we start talking, woman. And anyhow, I asked her, or she just told me that when she met her husband, she didn't like him. She said there was a church convention in her area, and they were calling out over the intercom for because a lot of buses came to support that convention, and they were calling, please board your bus and stuff like that, because the rally's over. And she said she stood there talking to her friends. She's from that area. And this guy came up to her and says, can I have your address and your name? So she said, no, you give me yours. So the guy said to her, I'm coming to Canada Tuesday. So it's best you give me yours. So she said, quick. She gave him her address. They didn't have no cell phone then. And she gave the guy her name and her address. And the guy came away. And they corresponded. Then a time came when he sent for her. He said to her, he sent extra money because he looks after her. And he told her, she said he told her, when you come to Canada, take a taxi and ask them to drop you off at this address. because you may not know me, right? And I'll be waiting in the lobby because she saw the guy no more than about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, she said. He had to board the bus. And the taxi brought her, dropped her off at the address, make sure it's the right address. And she went in. And when she went in the lobby, he greeted her. And he took her to his apartment upstairs. She said, I did not like this man. Don't like him at all. But the guy was very good to her. He took her and he put away the stuff that she had brought, most likely breadfruit. Everybody loves roast breadfruit. And he put away the stuff and he asked her how about, just how was flight and everything, those little talky talk. And then he had to go to work the next day and he said to her, he gave her something to eat. And she ate it. And then he told her, take the bedroom. I'll sleep on the couch. And he made up his bed on the couch and he sleep. And every day, before he leaves for work, he take out the meat or whatever, he'll tell her to cook it. And then he calls her every day from work, ask her how she's doing. He gave her a key and tell her she could, go for walks and get accustomed to the area and thing. And she did that. She says he come home, she don't talk. If he asks her a question, she'll answer. But she does not lead no conversation. She says, I don't like him. I don't like him. When he gets his pay, he gives her something out of it. She don't have no kids at that time. And she said for 6 weeks, the guy treated her like a queen. And she said, I don't like him at all. He sleep on the couch. He don't go in the bedroom. And she said she sat down, and when she examined how this guy treated her, she said she started to pray. And she said she prayed fervently, deep prayer. And she said, God, nobody ever treat me like this. And I can't like him. Do something for me. And she prayed, she prayed, she prayed. And she prayed morning, she prayed evening, and every chance she get, she prayed and I said, God, let me feel something for him, please. And she said before 2 weeks, she told him, you can sleep in the bed. Now, that happened these days? Huh? Come on. Yep. And I saw about 3 years ago, I couldn't believe that marriage worked. Based on what she had told me. Because they did got married. They have 2 beautiful girls. And I had gone to this area where I'd never usually go. And, they have those big freezers. They don't have door. They're, them. They put meat, everything in there. And when I look, I saw her. And I look good. I said, oh my God, that's her. Because, you just grow distance. You don't have any animosity towards each other. And I take time and I go beside her. And I said, hi, how are you doing? And she tell me, and, we chit-chat for a minute or so. I said, oh, sorry. So I said, how are your husband doing? She said, it's fine. I said, okay. And you working? Yeah. Now, do you know if these things still happen these days? All those situations I've just explained, they are God-sent situations. They were meant to be together. Got to be meant. A lot of us, we run and we get a man, and we don't ask God nothing. Sometimes you have to. People say, oh, you should not ask God nothing. I think we should. We should. Anyhow, I hope you all learned something, know something. I'd like to know. So please, I'm begging you, like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.